you're going to do, you're going to scoop out about 4 cups of flour onto your surface.
Right.
What kind of flour?
All-purpose.
So this is all-purpose flour. However, Joanne says you can use semolina.
And it's a combination, I believe, of semolina and white flour. The important thing is that when you're making pasta, it really doesn't matter how wet it is because you can always add flour. If it's dry, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't get that liquid back.
It's making a well. It sort of looks like the crater of a volcano.
Yeah.
And over here she has 4 eggs. So it looks like there's 1 egg per cup of flour as a ratio.
Correct. And we'll put a little bit of salt in the eggs. And beat them for a little bit.
Joanne has rubbed some olive oil onto her gloves so that it doesn't stick, the flour doesn't stick easily to the flour. And she's putting a little bit of her scrambled or beaten egg into the well of the flour, mixing as she goes. Little by little. And you notice she's pulling the flour from the outside rim. Think of this as like a crater in a volcano, but you want to keep that height so that you have the egg staying within it.
Exactly. If your wall breaks, just push it all together again so that it doesn't run out.
To keep it contained.
Right.
Joanne's added most of the beaten egg. She's really kind of covering up the mixture with the remainder of the flour. And the reason it's not really sticking to her hands is because she's got her gloves and she's oiled her hands with olive oil. That's a good tip. And she's working her dough. Work it, Joanne.
We're kneading it. Okay, so we're kneading the dough, and it seems to be pretty good. I don't know that we're going to need all of that flour. I think this is all coming together nicely, and this should be done in a couple of more squeezes. Okay. I took off the gloves because I like to feel the dough. You get a better sense of, what's going on if you can feel it. I'm looking for elasticity, I'm looking for cohesiveness, and I'm looking to see that it isn't very dry, which it really isn't. I think this is a good one. Okay, the dough is a little sticky, and that's why we don't put all the flour. And you can just add some flour with your hands, and that's more of a big time control than just pouring flour on. So you just add a little bit at a time until you get it exactly the way you want and you think it's going. Okay, so now we're putting it, we formed it into a circle, and we're going to leave it here to rest.
What are you doing?
This gets wrapped. And now you have to let your dough rest for 30 minutes.
So this is Joanne's pasta station. She has an old-time Atlas pasta maker that you hand crank, and I can assure you that's probably a lot better than the new electric ones, and it clamps onto the surface of the table. Cut off a piece of pasta from her big bowl of pasta dough, and what she's trying to do now is she's trying to roll it into a rectangular shape. With the other half of the pasta that she's not using, she covered it with saran wrap to keep it moist so it doesn't dry out. Is using this knob to adjust the thickness of rolling through the pasta. Okay, here we go. For some reason, it's a little wider. Use your kitchen scissors to cut off the ends and angle the pasta a little bit so it fits into the machine easier.
Okay, we're rolling this out on number 1, which is kind of thick. We just want to get a first roll to get it thinned out. Okay, so now we're doing the second roll at a 3.
Okay, so now we're taking the other half and we're rolling it through the pasta maker, and each time you roll it progressively thinner. That's the idea. If you wanted to make lasagna with your pasta dough, then this is what you're going for, these long sheets. But Joanne is making linguine and spaghetti. That's what we're having.
We have to. I can't do it anymore.
Joanne is putting the freshly cut pasta, her linguine, onto this drying rack. It's some kind of crazy gizmo she bought for drying pasta, and these arms are all adjustable. And we're just going to let this dry before it gets cooked.